let's talk a little bit about the postseason awards. Start off the top. Aaron Rodgers, MVP, was his third MVP of his career. One of, I think, 3 or 4 people who have that many MVPs. He's up there with Brady and Peyton. And Favre got, what, 2 or 3?
Yeah, 3. He got 3.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah, Favre with 3. What are your thoughts? I thought Aaron Rodgers should have been the MVP of the league. I'm an Aaron Rodgers guy. I watched. He's been a different Aaron Rodgers the last 2 years, even better than he was last year, this past season. I don't have any complaints about it, although there is an argument that could have gone for Brady that's going to be similar to LeBron in basketball this year. There's so many intangibles that don't show up that made the team what it was. But I think Aaron Rodgers deserved that award personally.
Yeah, well, there's a couple of things, and this goes for most sports. Why does it take so long? I think these awards would hit home more, and I'm sure there's a method to the madness, and to keep your sport relevant even after the Super Bowl happens. But like, announce it after Wild Card Weekend. It makes more sense. Like it seems to always bite the guy or the team or the league in the ass, where it's like, he's eliminated and he wins the MVP. It happened with Giannis. It happened with Rodgers this year. It's like, can we announce it after the Wild Card Weekend so it makes a little more sense? Like, this guy's great. Oh, and then he won a playoff game, as opposed to like putting these guys in a position to get debated. Like, he obviously was the MVP, but because we announced it after he had not a terrible postseason showing, but like he lost when he probably shouldn't have lost. It just looks like he wasn't when he definitely was. And then also, can we just call this the QB of the Year award? I mean, it's another thing where just QBs, and I know that they're the brain of the offense. It's the most important position in sports, but like, I mean, some love to somebody else, whether it's Derrick Henry or Aaron Donald, or it just over and over. Let's just call it what it is. It's the QB of the Year. It goes to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. I totally agree. They should just, because honestly, the offensive player of the year ends up becoming the guy who's not the quarterback who's the MVP, right? Yeah. But damn, I forgot what I was gonna say, and I'm gonna admit it on here. What is wrong with me? So yeah, I agree that they should just do it early, because why are we waiting? But they want to have the show, the actual award show, so now people can show up pre-COVID, and then they make that an event. And it's like, bro, if I'm eliminated from the playoffs, I don't even want this right now.
Right. If you're that pissed off about losing, like, do people show up to this? I usually watch the monologue because it's usually like a funny presenter, whether it's like Steve Harvey or Key and Peele or somebody did the other year. And like, it's funny. It's like the ESPYs. It's a funny presenter, but like the actual awards, we're just going to go to Twitter. You don't need a presentation for that. And I know money talks. They're not going to listen. They're going to get their broadcast slot, and they're going to try to stay in the media cycle. But it just seems like those are two easy fixes, where it's like, can we just either call it the QB of the Year award and move it up? But there's always my thoughts on that.
What about Offensive Player of the Year, Derrick Henry?
I mean, yeah, he's the guy that wasn't the QB that was the best this year. I mean, got over 2,000 yards, and he made the playoffs. It's different than like, obviously they was also on the Titans, but didn't Chris Johnson go like 7-9 or 8-8 and get over 2,000 yards in a season where he was just running in garbage time most of the time anyway? Like, Derrick Henry was the engine for an offensive team that actually made the postseason. So absolutely him.
Derrick Henry is the reason that my team hired somebody who I still don't know how I feel about. Okay. Now, Defensive Player of the Year, got a little drama there. The Watt brothers took to Twitter to voice their thoughts, because Aaron Donald won the award for we should just make this the Aaron Donald Memorial Award because it's his.
That dude's awesome.
TJ Watt didn't get it, and there was a feeling that he was snubbed, because if you look at the major statistics for a defensive lineman, he had better stats than Aaron Donald.
Like pressures and stuff like that. Like did he get home as much too?
I think so, honestly. If you beat me to it,
let's see.
But what I found to be interesting about that is
what he did. Yeah, Watt had 15, Aaron Donald had 13 and a half. But I mean, still impressive.
Right. And I think though what the voters looked at was some of the intangibles of this, though. The attention that Aaron Donald attracts every single play, the way that offenses are building their game plan around minimizing what Aaron Donald does, and they still can't do it. And I think that TJ Watt had a great season, but the Steelers had a really good defense for most of the season. They had a really good pass rush. So you could not just focus in on TJ Watt the same way you did on Aaron Donald.
Yeah, and it seemed that the Rams, I mean, they were relatively stout all year on defense. The Steelers seemed to kind of lose steam, especially on national TV. I'm sure that didn't help. I'm sure they lost to the Browns on national TV. I know it's playoffs and we're not supposed to count that, but you can't tell me the voters didn't look at that and be like, where was Watt this whole game? I mean, it just seemed like every time I saw them play on national TV, like I saw them play the Redskins late in the year, and that's like games when they get close and like people actually are watching football. It's the end of the year. It means something. Nobody's showing up. I mean, it also helps that every time the Rams on national TV, the announcers are pointing to Aaron Donald and what he does well, even when he's on the bench getting a water break. I mean, good Lord, like they're just all over him. It's almost like the Tom Brady effect. Like, oh man, look at him drink that water. He's so good at drinking that water, isn't he amazing, Bill? Like, good Lord. So they definitely have a crush on Aaron Donald. Sports media does.
Oh man, and I think one of their new crushes is the offensive rookie of the year, Justin Herbert.
Yeah. And not to say that Donald's not good or Herbert's not good. They're both good players. But
yeah. I guess there's an argument for Justin Jefferson, but again, it goes back to the MVP thing. If it's between a quarterback and another position, quarterback wins every time.
Yeah. I mean Jefferson's been awesome. I mean, it's funny. It's almost funny sometimes. We're like, what did he have? 20 touchdowns his last year at college, and we're like, well, that was in college. And sometimes this stuff is really that simple. Where he was good in college, he's going to be good in the NFL, and like we overthink it sometimes.
Bro, just like Lamar Jackson, they go, nah, he can't do this in the NFL. And if you look at his numbers from his Heisman season and his MVP season, they are like so close, like 3,500 plus passing yards, over 1,000 rushing yards, 30 plus TDs. You go, no, some people are just so good that they can do the same thing on each level. Yeah.
And that's also, he went to the perfect team. He went to a coach that was actually willing to adjust to him as opposed to, he has to fit in my five-step drop offense, or he has to fit in my West Coast offense. Like, I think that's also, and not to take away from Lamar Jackson, but he also went into a great situation where they adapted to him.
He's had a coach who looked at his talent and said, we're going to maximize your talent, as opposed to what happened in Atlanta with Michael Vick. Hey, Michael Vick, you're going to be a West Coast offense quarterback. Excuse me?
You're not gonna figure it out until you go to prison and get your life together 8 years later, unfortunately.
Exactly. So I'm happy to see that this is happening in the NFL, and it's trickling down to the college game, to the high school game, that these supreme athletes who are 6'1", 6'2", 6'3", are getting to play quarterback as opposed to being told, no, you got to go play wide receiver. No, you got to go play DB. It's like, why? I got the best arm on the team. I just happen to be the fastest. Why can't I run and throw?
Yeah, and the game's adjusting rule-wise where that, like, those kind of players aren't going to get their head bashed in every game like they would have in the 80s or even like the early 2000s. So I think it's made the game better, honestly.
And I think having someone like a Lamar Jackson, someone a little bit smaller, helps out, because Cam Newton did not get the same benefit of the data. Go, oh, well, no, he's fine. He's big. Like, so the rule is the rule.
Yeah, well, running style didn't help him. I feel like as much as Lamar Jackson runs tough, Cam Newton was trying to truck people. I haven't seen Lamar Jackson too much, but I'm sure he doesn't do that at 180.
No, not at all. He's that hot.
Yeah, right.
Kevin Stefanski, Coach of the Year.
I mean, it's hard to. I mean, there's a lot of good candidates for this. But I mean, he made the Browns good. I mean, that's all you need to say. He made the Browns good. They lost Odell Beckham, and they got him better when he was out. That could be, a Ewing theory proposition, or just the fact that they got a rhythm towards the end. But I mean, that's all I gotta say. You made the Browns good. I've never seen the Browns good.
Do you think Odell comes back?
I mean, if it's his, does he have 1 year left on his contract?
I want to say he has a few years left, but I mean,
I think if he has years left, then yeah, I think he does. Just because that team is good, and obviously he saw what they could do without him. If he doesn't, I think that guy goes straight to Los Angeles. I think that I think he's made for a city with bright lights.
Absolutely, he's not Cleveland.
Nah, that doesn't seem to. And maybe we're wrong. Maybe he likes a city with a rich football history and a great fan base, which I mean would be fun also. I think, but I mean, yeah, definitely seems like he wants to be in LA or Dolphins. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah, so he's under contract until 2023.
Okay.
I'm not going into the specifics as far as how
guaranteed money.
Yeah, about guaranteed money, but he's under contract until 2023. So we agree on that. And comeback player of the year. And I hope he does not come back next year. Alex Smith.
Cool. Yeah. That's one of those things where you stop coming back, man. It's making me nauseous. I mean, yeah, he absolutely gets it. Did you watch the documentary, by the way?
No, some things I'm just good off of.
That's fair.
So it ruined my bet for Big Ben as comeback player of the year because I felt like Big Ben would have won despite the way he looked towards the end of the season.
Right.
I threw money on Big Ben and Cam Newton, which Cam Newton threw ground balls all year. So, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you could have gone Rob Gronkowski if the postseason started, right? Although that was more of a self-imposed comeback. It wasn't like he got hurt or anything. He just took a break.
Right. So good for Alex Smith, man.